Hello, EDCI 7 tenors, Dr. Palermo with your week 9 instructional video. Uh, nice to see some of you, most of you in Goldsboro this past weekend. That's our last face-to-face meeting, and you've got some work to submit to me, but it's primarily reading and writing that are your tasks at this point. And I want to make a note of one of the video links that or the resource links that I've submitted in the week 9 content for you as well. So you should be finishing up Learning for Leadership, the readings for the text, also The Heart of Coaching. And there is a Chapter 8 reflection asking you, again, what are the implications of learning for leadership? So for those of us who were together this past weekend, I wanted to return to those pillar practices, the mentoring, providing leadership opportunities, the teaming, and collegial inquiry, and ask how can you take those pillar practices and continue and forward your work in instructional leadership in your schools and in your district. I think that these are the way to go. I believe that slow, incremental work and building a culture that focuses on teaching and learning, on curriculum and instruction, is the way for you to lead. I don't think it really matters exactly which program or which particular approach that you take, so long as you're walking your talk and saying that teaching and learning is important, and then showing your staff through the pillar practices or through the initiatives that you have at your school that you are aware of the teaching and learning that's happening in your building, that you're holding folks accountable for the teaching and learning in your building. So that's the essence of instructional leadership, and I think that's the way for us to improve schools. You do have your systems analysis plan, CDE, due to me in Blackboard. I've said this, but I hope it bears repeating. You do have two opportunities, one a formative opportunity and then a summative opportunity in Blackboard to submit those things for me to read. I'd like you to get them in to me this week, please, by the end of week 9, so that I have time to read and give you some feedback on those prior to you submitting them at the end of the semester in TaskStream, where again, I think I will be one of your readers there. So one other item I did want to focus on, I'm repeating or moving from week 8. It's this Harvard EdLab website. Dr. Roland Fryer is the director there, and he's a controversial fella. If you follow him just a little bit, sometimes his focus on charter schools ticks off some public school people, but he has the ear of policymakers, and he's doing some interesting research. The police and minorities, as well as schools and economics. His background is in economics, so it's kind of interesting how he's come around to providing leadership in education. But one of the pieces that his Ed Lab researched was charter schools and what makes some charter schools more effective than others. Well, he found that traditionally collected input measures like class size and teacher qualifications are not correlated to school effectiveness. And again, this is kind of controversial stuff, but he identified 5 tenets of high-performing charters that he says explain at least 50% of the variation in school effectiveness. Extended school day, use of data to drive instruction, devotion to high-quality human capital, getting the best teachers in place, culture of high expectations, and small group tutoring. I will bet that you are already doing some of these things in your schools. Know that Roland Fryer has found that these are effective practices for schools, for any schools, and now he is working with others to put these things in place. So anyway, this EdLab site is kind of interesting, and if you spend some time clicking around the projects, I think you'll find some interesting reading here, and I would especially point out this stuff about highly effective charters, which he says will translate to publics or charters. You decide. Anyway, that site is here in your week 9 content as well. I hope that you have a good week. I hope that you are doing well on your project CDE, the SAP CDE. Please write to me if you have any questions. I will be reading and writing and grading in Blackboard every day this week. So get your stuff into me and write with any questions that you might have. Thanks, and have a terrific week.